It certainly seems like things have been active this severe weather season in East Texas. We've noticed it here at CBS 19. And you guys out there in the community, well, you've certainly taken note.
This has been the worst storm year in 21 years that I've lived in Tyler, Texas.
A couple weeks ago, those storms got pretty bad. It was a little scary.
I think we've had way too much rain, too many storms.
We've had a lot of them, but your channel has really kept us updated, so we're safe.
Well, this severe weather season has certainly felt pretty active, but has it actually been significantly more active than what we could expect in East Texas for your normal spring? Well, to figure that out, we had to take a look at some data. Here's what we found. We pulled up the spring tornadoes for every year from 2008 to 2017. We've had as few in a year as 2 in 2013 and as many as 31 in 2017. That gives us a 10-year average for spring of 11.8 tornadoes per severe weather season. Round that up to 12. Comparing that to other types of severe weather, we should have around 58.2 reports of wind damage and about 49.6 reports of hail damage. Comparing that to last year, we can see 2018 was pretty quiet, with just 3 reports of tornadoes in spring, 54 reports of wind, and 39 reports of hail. Now, what about this year? Taking into account this past weekend, we're up to 14 reports of tornadoes, 105 reports of wind, and 61 reports of hail. Remember those averages? Well, every single category is above the average for spring when it comes to severe weather reports. One of those pretty significantly. That would be the wind damage reports, almost double what we would expect to see in a normal spring. The big reason for that? Well, that's going to be all the rainfall. Going back to October of 2018, we've had over 50 inches of rain in Tyler and Longview, almost 50 in Lufkin. That puts Tyler and Longview about 20 inches above normal, Lufkin about 15. The reason why this matters is when you saturate the soils like we have here in East Texas, well, those trees, they have very shallow roots. And when you get very wet soil, very shallow roots, and you add a little bit of wind, those trees are likely to fall over. That's where most of our damage reports come from in terms of wind, especially for this year. But what about the rest of the severe weather season? Has that been more active than usual? Well, to find out, we spoke to National Weather Service meteorologist Brandy Richardson.
Well, I think it's very typical for us to see this type of active weather in the spring. Now, is it more active than we've seen maybe in the past couple of years? Possibly. It's pretty well on par with what we would normally see this time of year. It took us a little while to get going this year, and we've really compacted them into April and May pretty much, and it seems like we've just had a constant barrage of severe weather events. So it may feel like there's been more this year.
So what we've seen this year isn't anything record-setting or that far from usual of what we would expect here in East Texas during a severe weather season. But if you've lived here long enough, you've probably noticed you see a lot more of us on TV for severe weather alerts than you did, say, 15, 20 years ago. And well, that's not in your head. There is some truth to that statistic. Let's take a look at the numbers. Comparing the short-term 10-year average to the long-term average going back to 1986, severe thunderstorm warnings have certainly increased over the 10-year average period, but that's nothing compared to tornado warnings, which have almost doubled in the short-term average versus the long-term average going back to 1986. The key reason for that? Well, technology has improved. And with social media, we're learning about and able to warn more tornadoes now than we ever have in the past. So in conclusion, we can say that this year has certainly been an active one and even an above average one. And while the number of warnings seems to keep going up every year, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're seeing more severe weather than we should. We're just really in an active spring, especially here in 2019. Well, regardless of how many storms come through, we can promise you one thing here at CBS 19. We've got you covered. With every storm that comes through East Texas, you can count on us to be here on air, online, and on your phones, providing you the latest information. Reporting for CBS 19, I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens.